This was a pain in the ass. Well, hello there folks, my name's Ben and welcome to a Shots Fired Airsoft video, and this is the Umarex H8R Gen 2. So hopefully we have a new camera now, and that should enable us to actually give you a good look at things. Quality should be a lot better, and to be honest, there's nothing wrong with this gun on the outside. There's nothing really wrong with it on the inside either. However, unfortunately mine from the factory appeared to have a bit of a manufacturing defect, and this meant that after about 10 shots the hop-up failed, or the hop-up rubber actually went through and gave me no gas pressure seal, and also made the hop-up really inconsistent because when it failed, the surface that the BB was actually firing from was tattered and burred up. Now, one of the main problems we have with this is that the hop-up that's in this is fairly unique. It's a sort of half shell. I will post the picture now as I'm talking to you of the gun open and how the hop-up comes out, and what you will see when you actually bring the hop-up out. And you can see that the hop-up that's in this gun is worn through. I'm guessing it was some sort of manufacturing defect where the rubber is thinner than it should have been, and what we ended up with was, after about 10 shots or so, bearing in mind that I chrono all these guns before I go to the range so that I know they're working properly, and the first 5 or so times that I fired this, I got a really nice consistent 320 to 325 FPS, exactly what we were looking for, and it fired perfectly. There was no issues whatsoever. When I got to the actual firing test of the gun, which I will post a bit of footage of now, as you can see, we're not even hitting the target anywhere. We're not even in the ballpark. Occasionally you'll get a lucky hit, but the hop-up would go from firing into the row Z, so to speak, and then other shots it would ditch into the floor, other shots it would fire to the right, fire to the left and spin, and generally it was a terrible experience. Now, the main problem with this is that we don't have spares. The reason that this is here is this is an Army Armament R17. This is 50 quid. This is 75, but this is 50 quid from a lot of UK retailers, and it is a plastic copy. Well, I suppose the plastic kind of fairly pointless because it's a Tokyo Miro copy of a TM G17, or Glock as people would know it better. This is essentially standard. It's got an AIP nozzle spring in it, it's got a flared magwell, and it has a silencer adapter because I use it in CQB. It's a nice little pistol, especially for the money. And the reason I'm showing you this is that although this is £50, if I go on to say Tiger Airsoft or any sort of site like that, I can buy every single spare for this. Everything. Recoil springs, I can buy blowback units, nozzles, I can buy the flared magwell came from there, the AOP nozzle spring came from there, literally anything you can shake a stick at. Umarex, the only thing you can get spare are these. And they are sort of, I don't know, £5 to £10 for two, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. For an extra, 5 or 10, you can have another 20 rounds on you, which is great in a revolver, rotary magazine. But the thing that makes me really annoyed about these is that these have a hop-up unit in them, and as you can see, it goes through there and through there, and in here where the BB loads, there is a little rubber mount, and I'll show you a picture again on the screen here, and that hop-up will wear. It will wear. They do. When it wears, you can't get a spare. Umarex do not do spare parts for this gun in any way, shape or form. Apart from these, they do not sell any spare parts whatsoever. So the first thing I'm going to say to you in this review is this is a disposable pistol. You are going to be spending 75 quid, 69 to 75 to 80, depending on where you buy it from, on a gun that once the hop-ups failed, because they wear, you are throwing this away. Unless you are used to teching, this thing. I mean, my idea with this is to make a sort of a semi pop-up rubber out of a maple leaf or something similar. But even then, that is going to be quite difficult because of the very unique shape of this hop-up rubber in here. So if you're planning on keeping this long term, don't bother. And Umarex, if you ever come across this video, sort your shit out. This is unacceptable. This is a proper airsoft pistol. This has spares. This is worth buying. This is a ticking time bomb. You may as well throw 75 quid down the shitter. Now, I did have an attempt at fixing this whilst it was apart, and all it involved was placing a layer of, and don't kill me for this, sellotape over the hole in the hop-up rubber. This did actually yield better results than you might think, because it allowed the barrel to hold gas pressure, and it actually made it a bit more consistent because it wasn't firing from the tattered surface of the hop-up rubber, which I did actually clean up a bit. And so at the moment you're seeing on your screen a bit of footage from the post fix, in inverted commas, because it's not going to be fixed without a new hop rubber, which you can't get. But it was actually a better experience all around. What I would hasten to say, and I'm actually going to put a little bit of footage of this in, is if I moved into 10 meters as opposed to 15, you'll see that I am nailing the bullseye pretty much every time with this, even with a knackered hop-up rubber. This is why you should never trust reviews that only fire from like 10-ish meters or 35-ish foot. You can hit anything from that kind of distance with an airsoft pistol. If you move out to 15, there is more than enough time for the hop-up take effect and really ruin the shooting of the gun if it's rubbish. As we saw with the Raven, which didn't like actually hitting anything pin sharp, and a lot of people have been like, oh yeah, but it shoots really good when I fire it. It's like, yes, but have you actually tried firing from, far away? And it's like, oh, I am far away, and it's people have different ideas of far away. 50 meters is enough for a hop-up to really ruin things if it isn't properly set up, or if it's just shot out of the factory. So this is a bit of a weird conclusion, but I like the H8R Gen 2. I do. I can't get away from the fact that it is a revolver, a sort of H8R revolver, in that it uses a rotary magazine from 5 foot away. No one's going to be able to tell that you aren't firing rounds out of a Smith & Wesson something or other, which is kind of the point. And if you are that kind of distance away, it is going to be fantastic. You are going to hit something every time. Assuming that the hop-up was in good condition in this, and that it had carried on working throughout the review, I would say that I would be giving you a very different conclusion. Unfortunately, because of what's happened and the fact that I was actually forced to go and look to see if I could get replacement parts for this, to see if I could replace the damaged component, that I can't recommend the H8R Gen 2. I cannot, in this day and age, really recommend something that when it fails is gone forever. You won't be able to fix it unless you are willing to get involved, take it to bits, and spend hours making new parts from other guns, and God forbid should anything else fail that isn't just a hop-up rubber, because that is it, game over. Now the OEM that makes this is actually Wing Gun. As far as I'm aware, my research has brought up Wing Gun, who are known for making revolvers, which would make sense. Obviously, Umarex is one of these companies that doesn't make things itself as such. It kind of, I mean, it may make certain guns itself, but no, usually it's an OEM outsource like Nucrol. And it may be that there's something from a wing gun revolver that might go in the hop. And this really is a great shame, because I like the layout, I like the innovation of this in terms of its being a revolver but actually not a revolver, but it looks like a revolver, and therefore it gives you that sort of feeling of firing a revolver, which is fantastic. But you don't have the shortcomings of shells, which no one wants to bother with in a airsoft replica, to be honest, unless you are plinking in the back garden or you keep it on the shelf or on the wall on a mount of some description. No one's actually going to be running gameplay with something that you fire 6 shells out of and then have to reload. Even with a speed reloading clip, it's still a ball ache. I know, so I've got an ASG Smith & Wesson air pistol, and it's great to reload with the speed loader, but the ball ache of putting 6 individual BBs into 6 individual shells is far too much of a twat to really bother with long term. So I've been Ben. This has been a Shots Fired Airsoft video, and thank you for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe, dislike, whatever you want to do. I've got a video which I actually delayed for this, which is the AEP 01 overview, ownership, sort of long-term review. And I've got a few interesting points on that, which a lot of people don't really seem to have covered in their sort of, oh my god, it's the best thing ever, the reviews that most of them gave out, which it's never going to be true, because it's a £75 airsoft pistol, which is primarily plastic and isn't the second coming of gun Jesus like most seem to think it is. Anyway, so that's it. I'm going to try and fix this. I might post a video of making another hop-up rubber for it, because that appears to be the only way forward from this point. So apart from that, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.